AK, good afternoon. How you doing, man?
Good, man. How you doing?
I'm hanging in there. Thank you. Just don't think we talked to you since there's been quite a lot of changes around the organization this year, from the coaching staff through the roster. How, as a veteran guy, how have you processed it all? I mean, I know you've had to say goodbye to a lot of guys and welcome a lot of new guys. How have you handled it all?
It's we know it's a business at the end of the day. Some of those guys I've grown to be brothers, and I talk to every day, or not every other day. And it wasn't a goodbye; it was just to see you later, and knowing you're going off to do something better, and whether it's another team or you're not playing anymore, life still continues. And those guys, man, didn't take what happened for granted or anything like that, man. It's just they moved on to the next stepping stone in life.
KK, on that note, Josh Graham and the Triad. I wonder with the offseason, the way it's been, if it's hit you yet that out of the 5 captains on last year's team, you're the only one left standing from last year's roster.
Yeah, man. It's I don't even know what to say about that. I mean, it's seeing those guys, and then next thing you know, it just all vanished. And it just trickled down. But again, like I told Joe, it's a business. Whether those guys, went to a different team or not playing anymore, I still consider those guys a captain in life. And whatever they're going to do in life, man, I feel that they're going to be ahead of the curve and knowing that they can conquer anything they take on.
KK, hey, since this offseason obviously has been one of rehab for you after missing most of last season, how are you feeling shoulder-wise? How much work were you able to put in? And did the fact that you couldn't be in the facility, couldn't kind of get out there and work with other people because of COVID-19 maybe affect some of your rehab?
I feel good. I'm still working on the little kinks as far as just getting a range of motion, but other than that, man, I feel good. The shoulder repair was an awesome success. As far as when the whole COVID thing came about and shutting down the facilities, luckily I had a couple of stuff that I could do at home, and I had got a Peloton and was riding the bike and just being outside, man. The heat just made it a lot more secure for me to just get out and shed some pounds and sweat a little more, and just being able to do a lot more things, just getting in the pool, working the arm motion movements. And it was definitely one of those things that you had to reinvent to just see stuff outside of the facility, barbells and different stuff around the house, wall push-ups and stuff like that. So it was definitely a challenge, but JB, those guys, man, texted me and told me a lot of stuff that I can do outside of the facility, which helped me a lot.
KK, this is Herb Harder with the Charlotte Post. Considering that you are a veteran and you're accustomed to NFL training camps being a certain way, are you finding yourself trying to adjust to the reality of COVID-19 and the challenges that presents in itself of pulling off a camp successfully?
Definitely, man. Just as far as me in general, just getting back into football mode, it's just a whirlwind right now, and trying to get myself set to where, back into the norm, what I'm doing and how I do prepare for training camp. We got a lot of cautious stuff around here, so we have to understand that the stuff that we normally do the year in, the year out of camp, you have to realize like now it's a whole nother, direction that we're going as far as just trying to keep everybody safe in this building. So, like when we get into the hot tubs, then there could be a certain person, so many people in there. So now you got to realize like all this time that you have to get ready for practice, you have to utilize it and put it in the right aspect to where if I got 5 minutes to do this or 5 minutes to do that, because you got to know everybody's trying to do everything but can't be in a certain spot at the same time. So, and that's it, coming in early, getting extra treatment, or trying to beat the curve. A lot of these guys coming in right before practice. So just trying to get that situated and trying to get a handle on that, man, really takes effect to how we trying to get ready for practice and trying to get ready for meetings and stuff.
Okay, David Newton, glad to see you back, first of all. But what do you think, talking about all the players gone, what do you think about the talent around you, and how do you classify this? Do you think it's rebuilding, reload, or how would you classify it?
Man, it's a lot of young talent around, and different guys like Tahir White coming from different other teams. What you see on tape is what you see on tape, but just getting around these guys and seeing how these guys, like the rookies, are ready to learn and the way they learn this playbook, and it's new for everybody in this facility right now. Just to getting used to each other, getting used to the playbook, and trying to get used to how each person's style of play is. So I think it's going to take us some time to, put everything in perspective. But let's not forget where, it's football. So we got to come prepared. We got to come ready to willing to win. The most thing we got to do is work together, communication, all those type of things that we keep emphasizing is, that's not going to change. We just got to change the way that we approach each other and how each other play.
KK, Jason Huber, WFNZ. Kind of piggybacking off that a little, have you had a chance to talk or meet with Derek Brown or any of the new rookies? And following up on that, what are you looking forward to? Kind of being that veteran guy now on the defensive front and teaching those guys?
I'm just ready to see those guys work, man. I'm the type of guy that, try to lead by example, and now becoming into that 8th season and really, really being a vet around here now. I have to, step up and be vocally. So, just showing like Derek and all those guys, man, what I've done to put myself in position and what they can do to help me, what I can do to help them. We just got to work together. And I think those guys came from a good foundation, a good organization from college to, put themselves and take that step forward to having a great rookie year.
KK, this is Miles Simmons, new for Panthers.com. So I'm just wondering if you could describe a little bit more of what you've seen just from the safety precautions around the facility and how you've been feeling as you've been in the facility.
The process is crazy. Coming in, as soon as you get out your car, you got to do a test. You can't even really get in the parking lot without a mask. Hand sanitizer everywhere. Then after you get past that, you have another one before you get to the door. You have to fill out a survey. Then you have to another temperature check. Then we have these monitors walking around. You can't be too close to anybody. I think the precaution that they have around here, man, is it's crazy. It's overwhelming, but it's the right thing to do for this organization to try to keep us safe and COVID-free.
KK, this is Elena from the Charlotte Observer. I don't think we've met in person yet, so it's nice to meet you. I was wondering for you, we've seen a lot of high-profile players choose to opt out of this season. I was wondering if that's something you had all considered, or maybe just your thoughts on seeing that around the league.
Every player in this league probably thought about it, and whatever their decision they made is the decision that they made. Like I said, I've thought about it, and different answers that I've come up with, or just talking to my family and seeing how if one decision would determine another person's decision or just mine as well. So we all got our reasons. We all have why or why not, and I respect those guys who did, and I respect the guys who didn't.
Hey, this is Herb White again. Last year's defense was on a historically bad one in terms of touchdowns against the run, that type of thing. What is it that you see that with this year's group is going to have to do to turn that around, where it's not giving up so many yards per run, touchdowns, that kind of thing?
You got to be better than last year. No, but we just got to be disciplined. And we all got to come in with the right mindset, and the most common goal is to win. So we got to put each other in, we got to hold each other accountable. If we see one position or one player or one coach slacking, we just got to, we got to be communicated and tell these guys, like, man, like, if the defensive line not doing their job, like, tell us and we're going to get it corrected. As far as, so on and so on. As a defense, we got to be able to take criticism and take that and make it motivation.
Hey, KK. My name is Jonathan Alexander with the Charlotte Observer. If I could kind of piggyback off Elena's question, I know the NFLPA was saying that 70% of its players are at risk of more severe symptoms of COVID-19. And a big reason is because defensive linemen and offensive linemen have higher BMIs. I'm wondering if you all were told that and whether that kind of factored into, did you think about that in your thought process when you wanted to play the season?
I mean, we all know we big, man, and we know we at a certain weight, over 300 pounds, and that's where, again, that's where one of those, those thoughts in your mind come up front, and we have to understand that we just got to be as cautious as we can, man. With that being said, that we off the field, we got to try to be as more clean as far as hands and washing hands and not putting hands around your face and just trying to keep ourselves preventative of catching it. We don't know what will happen on the field. We tackling, we pushing, sweat's dripping and all this stuff. We just got to be cautious, and hopefully, we feel that our organization will have a lot of stuff, the precaution on the side of the field to, when we get off, try to prevent that from touching our face, hand sanitizer, washing the. They got like little portable sinks around here, so I'm thinking those are going to be on the sideline as well. So without guys who have these preconditioned, illness or anything like that, I feel that we should be secure of just being clean, trying to be clean as far as off the field.
Okay. As far as Derek Brown goes, we've heard Marty talk about how he thinks he can help you and the whole defense in part to, occupying maybe some double teams. Do you see that? Are you excited about that? And is it mindful at all of when you played with Star?
Two totally different guys. I mean, again, I haven't played with Derek yet, but just seeing, him around and what he's done from the day he got drafted to, to today, man, he just put himself in a position, God willing to work, God willing to do whatever it takes to help out anybody. So as far as the double teams, who knows? Like, they might just double team him and try to leave me one-on-one. So I don't know, but we just got to be ready. And, it's not always a predict where, all right, they're going to double team me on this play, you got to win, or they're going to double team you. We just got to be prepared to win every play that we play. We don't know when those double teams or those one-on-ones going to come. We just got to play every play like it's the last and win.
Hey, KK, it's Antoine Staley. Just what are your thoughts on Phil Snow and the new scheme that he plans on putting in?
Phil's a guy, man, he's coming with energy. He's like one of those guys that don't back down from a challenge. And, just being virtually and right before the COVID thing happened, being here, just talking to him in person, man, fired up. He's ready. He feels that he got the right tools to, make this a great defense, and we all on board, and we just ready for, to complete this task that he got for us. And I think like his system, his willingness to win, man, is just second to none. So I think a lot of guys bought into the process, and it's going to show this year.
KK, this is Deshawn with Channel 9 here in Charlotte. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing good. I wanted to ask, with everything going on between COVID and also a modern day civil rights movement, what about your perspective has changed coming into this year?
It's just a crazy year right now. I mean, 2020 is kind of undefeated, man. It's unexpected. And all the stuff that we're going through, we fighting through right now, we still don't have answers. So I feel that it's going to be a long process. But I feel like we're going towards the right direction to having justice and whatever the case may be as far as, justice, getting over COVID. We're going in the right direction. It's just taking time.
Anything else for KK, guys?
KK, this question was kind of all the rage during quarantine, but now that we're out, people don't really ask it anymore. What were you binging on TV during that time? We were all inside for 2 months straight.
Money Heist was one. Imposters was another.
Imposters.
And then Shameless. I had gotten into Shameless late, so like 10 seasons was like crazy for me. So that was something that took over like probably like a month or two just to get through Shameless. And that's probably about it. Then after that, I just was working.
Okay, if I could ask you one more maybe. What have you seen? I know you haven't been around him a ton, but out of Shaq with the kind of turnover at the linebacker position.
Who is that, Joe?
What have you seen? I'm sorry, out of Shaq with all the turnovers, particularly at linebacker.
Shaq who? Nah, Shaq, man. Shaq's he's a ball magnet, man. So Shaq can be around the ball. Every highlight around here, every tape around here, man, you just see Shaq in the picture. And Shaq just one of those guys, man. He's doing everything to put himself in position. And I think a lot of guys is coming behind him as far as the rookie-wise. It's just every film we turn on and we see that, it's going to be like, man, Shaq's a ball hog. And so it's a competition, a race to get to the ball, to get it out, to, recover that fumble, to make them fumble, whatever the case may be. But I think Shaq, one of those guys who come from year one to year 4 now, that improved every year. And like you see now that he's put himself in one of those top positions to be one of those dominant linebackers right now.
Shaq, David, you again. I wanted to ask you, you mentioned how you're kind of a quiet leader by example. Shaq's always been that way too. McCaffrey's been kind of that way too. But as you mentioned, you got to be more vocal. So can you just turn that on and off? I mean, who do you see as the leaders of this team with everybody going?
You put me on the spot. Besides the guys that you mentioned, you got DJ and Curtis in the wide receiver room who, is a big impact on this organization right now. You got Russell Okung, who's here now. You got Tyler, who's in the offensive line. You got Trey Boston. And the list goes on. You got Chris Manhurst. All those guys, man, who's been here and who's done it in so many years can pick it up and just be able to lead by example and also talk. I mean, you got a lot of guys who's going to, separate from the actions as far as doing it by example. And you got a lot of guys who's going to talk, verbally. So I think we got a nice mixture of, guys who's going to talk and who's guys who's going to do it as well. So I think the mixture around here is pretty good.
We got time for one or two more guys. So Vincent, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Vincent from the Right Report. Both Phil Snow and Matt Rule have talked about wanting to maybe use some of the edge guys as 3 techs in obvious passing situations. Do you expect to maybe play a bit more 1 tech than you have in the past, or do you expect your usage is going to basically be the same as it has been?
I'm expecting to play linebacker, to be honest. I'm just playing. I'm just available, man. Wherever they want me to play, I'm there. I just got to learn. I got to know all the positions on the defensive line. Got to know what every guy does, every play. So just being available when that play is called, and if they tell me to bump out, I'm got to bump out, and I know what I'm doing. So everybody in that defensive line got to know every position on the defensive line. So I think we all to be ready. We all can, take on that task, and I think we all can do it well.
Okay, I was just wondering for you, after all the time you missed last year, now waiting to kind of get back out on the field, what has that been like for you, and how much are you looking forward to the next couple weeks of finally being
tough.
out?
I got gray hair now. It's crazy. I think from the day that I was diagnosed, that I knew that my season was done. It was kind of like one of those this is crazy, because I never been, knock on wood, I never been hurt or missed a game like that, or a couple games in a row. So this was new for me. Just going through from October of last year all the way until February, where I kind of felt like I was getting back to normal. I had a lot of things just going through my mind mentally and physically. So once February kind of turned, I kind of started turning around as far as feeling more a normal shoulder, benching wise. And it was just, I wouldn't say depression, but it was just kind of really just didn't have a direction to where to go. You see a lot of guys who get injured and, sidelined for so many weeks. But when it happened to yourself for the first time, you kind of don't know. It's kind of like a rookie year all over again. You don't know what to expect from your honest. So as that got on, I had some scares where I thought my shoulder wasn't healing right. I felt like it wasn't in the right direction. It wasn't at a certain percentage at a certain time. But I had to trust the doctors and trust our trainers. It was all right, this is kind of how it's going to go. You're going to feel that you got setbacks. You're going to feel good one day, and then the next day you feel like you went back. So just trusting in them and really realizing that, they was right the whole time. And as it turned around now, I'm not in a rush to just go out there and kill it, but I'm in a rush to just go out there and just play football.